we have my glorious toilet roll ORK home, which I started a few weeks ago, I think it was. It was a very quick project. As I go through the video, I'll be showing you bits and bobs of what I used and essentially how I got from a standard toilet roll, which I'll show you in a sec, and got to this point. It's a little bit shiny from what I'm used to. That is, well, I'll talk about that in a little bit later, but this is what I started with. We all know what a toilet roll looks like, and yeah, so the challenge was to take this useless, flimsy piece of potential scenery and turn it into something that could be stackable, could be used in scatter terrain, and yeah, so from there, what I wanted to start with is obviously the chimney. So this was actually rescued from numerous drinks when I was out in Nepal, and yes, I did sneak them back into the country. And but any I believe there are even cardboard ones you can still use now, so do reuse when you can, but they are wonderful. They take paint quite well. They do chip though. Standard now this is actually just from I believe it was from a pizza. Now a standard card stock that is probably used all over the project in small little areas. Now what I actually this is the first project I used it in, was this netting, which is actually, some of you might know as the netting that comes in the bags for garlic, and I even snuck all I seem to do is sneak bits of rubbish into the country from my holidays. So this, I believe, was actually from Italy, and yeah, it's so pliable, it's so good. It actually takes paint quite well from what I've used it as. Primer and then paint over the top. Try and be delicate with it, really kid gloves, and be as delicate as you can with it, because I haven't been too robust with it since I've got it, but it is awfully, really pliable, really enjoyable to use and easy to use. The next part, I wanted to really just highlight how important the XPS foam is, which is something which I believe it was Bill Making Stuff was the first to introduce me to it. Absolutely game changer for all my hobby crafting. It's wonderful, and there's loads of different places you can get it. I actually just try and get them from the children's crafting sections, anywhere from Poundland to the hobby shops, Hobbycraft, and you've really got to keep your eyes open for this even thinner XPS foam, which I think is 0.5 mil. It's really pliable. You can even stretch it. It goes around corners, which is a really nice addition compared to simple cardstock, and real game changer. You can also, as you can see from the rivets, some of them are just simple, they're pushing ones. You can also find these ones, which are really useful. They're already cut out, they're in multiple sizes, and they even have a bit of adhesive on the back. So but I would use super glue. You can use PVA glue. It's super easy to use, and I think any crafter needs it in your toolbox. They are absolutely wonderful pieces of kit, and you can get them in huge sheets as well online, but the cheapest option is go down to Poundland to see what you can get from there. Now these are the rivets which I use, which I believe are called adhesive gems, and these are from again, all manner of crafting shops. The range do them as well, and super cheap. There's a few hundred in each pack, so there's plenty of rivets to get on with, and they just simply go on. They do have an adhesive on the back of them, which can be a little bit problematic. Sometimes it's quite useful that you can place them on already placed bit of super glue, but do be aware that sometimes that adhesive does peel off and take the rivet with it. So sometimes I just take the adhesive off and then put them on. I'm also showing you there that I even have the larger ones, which again are far easier to find, and I just always pop into Poundland and get them from there. For any of the bigger projects I use the bigger rivet, so to speak. Now as you can see, what I'm looking at here is the coloration of the of the project, I went for a rusty look. It reminded me of all the big cylinders, huge steel cylinders I used to see in the docks in South Wales, and yeah, a bit nostalgia for me. So I wanted to keep that sort of look. That is just spray painted black, using any old cheap stuff from the can, and so long as it's matte, please try to get matte. Gloss doesn't work well at all. I've been warned off that, so I haven't made that mistake myself. Quite lucky in that regard. And then essentially from there, we've got Burnt Umber. Again, really cheap paint I acquired from Hobbycraft. And then you'll probably see some of these elements are actually Citadel paints, some of the technical paints that they have, and some of the brighter ones are really good for graffiti. I actually use to get that look. It is terrible, I'm fully aware, but they are orcs at the end of the day, so you get a little bit of breathing space in regards to how delicate you have to be. So again, I use a sharpened toothpick for that sort of graffiti, so quite easy. And also we have the sandy gritty texture which you can get, which is AK, I believe, have their own textured sand, which is pre-coloured, which is really nice. It's a lovely mud colour, but I tend to just spray over the top of them. The wires you can see that I use there are actually from work. I recycle as much as I can from any scrap I see, and they are the bits of tubing that connect safety earplugs together, and they're really nice and pliable. They do take paint quite well. I haven't seen them chip very much. And of course you can't forget the wonderful, fantastic conduits, which are of course earring backs, and you can get them for very cheap on Amazon, and they are fantastic. They just give that a little bit of busyness to any project, which is really nice. And some of the last little things I did to this project was add a little bit of foliage, which from there you can see it's the moss, which is, I believe, just a type of painted sponge, which is like macerated up, and you can put on with PVA glue. You have to be super delicate though, it will come off, so try to handle as little as possible. And yeah, so from a simple toilet roll, which I actually reinforced inside, so I really would recommend doing so. I think I just used a biro, a bit of a biro, turned it on its end and sort of pried it between the end, the interior of it, and it came out really strong. But don't overdo it. It's still very thin cardboard, and again, even so, I think I did reinforce it internally as well with a little bit of a straw as well. So yeah, it's really thoroughly enjoyable, this project. And again, it was a quick one. I think I got this done in an afternoon and then painted. Again, it's a little bit glossy for my liking, so next time I do it, I'll probably dull that down a little bit, and hopefully from there we can get a few, stack them up, and have a bit of an orc village, so to speak. And one of the last things I did was actually put these words that came from the top of these lovely lids, which you can get from Costa, Starbucks, anywhere that you can get coffee from. I do save them, and they all have tiny words and letters and symbols on them actually, which are really quite nice. And again, they just cut out so easily. They will probably chip, so I would always sand any plastic down that you hope to paint, as that will allow the paint to stick to it. And then I think I just use a little bit of granny grating. If you don't know what granny grating is, go online and look it up yourself. It's a bit of a random one, but I believe they use it for crafting of knitting or sewing and stuff like that. So and then I just dunked a bit more technical paints. This was that drying Mechanicus, Mars Mechanicus stuff, which cracks, which is really nice, gives it a good effect. But again, I think I did make it a little bit too shiny on this on this occasion, but I'm really happy with the project. But that's all I can say on this project. I'm going to probably finish off that and there, and I really do hope you let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, this is the first episode, and I look forward to making many more. Thanks very much indeed.